Hello everybody. So today we're going to talk a little bit about what it means to be safe when we're traveling in the city. And part of being in a city is walking. And because I can't drive a car, I have to walk to most of the places that I want to go. And part of walking in a city is crossing streets. And so today I wanted to talk a little bit about how I cross the streets even though I can't see, and also how you should cross the street so that you can be safe when you're traveling in the city. So let's find a place where we need to cross the street and talk a little bit about it. Okay, we have made it to our first spot where we're going to cross the street. Now, a spot where we cross the street is called an intersection. Can everybody say intersection? So an intersection is a place where two streets come together. I'm going to flip around our camera and we're going to talk about this intersection and a little bit about how it works. So the first thing you might notice is our street sign. We have two streets here. One sign goes this way, and if I move over, one side goes this way. And that's because our streets do the same thing. The street that I've been walking along goes this way, next to me, and then the other street goes in front of me, this way. And this is the street that we're going to cross. Now there's a couple things that we need to talk about when it comes to crossing our street. We need to be paying attention, and we need to use our eyes and ears to tell us a little bit about what's going on at this intersection. So right now, I hear a car, and I hear some people, and it's important that when we cross streets, we listen. So here comes the car, and this car is going to turn. He turned in front of me and went on his way. So when we cross the street, it's really important to be listening and using our eyes to watch cars. Because sometimes cars can't see us, so we always need to make sure that we're paying attention to what's going on before we cross the street. So when we get to the end of our sidewalk, which is right here, the first thing we should do is stop. So I'm going to stop, and I'm going to look. I hear a car coming to my left. Here it comes, and he's going straight. There he goes. And I don't hear any cars coming from this way. That might mean it's safe for me to cross. Now, you guys know that I use my cane when I walk. And so what I do when I'm going to cross the street is I put my foot right up here and my cane right next to me so that other people can see. And then I put my cane right out in front of me so that I can walk. I'm going to do this 1, 2, 3 so that the cars know that I'm going to cross. So here we go. 2, 3. I'm going to cross over the street. And just like that, we have made it across our first street. So remember, when we get to an intersection, we're going to stop and we're going to look to our left and to our right and look for any cars. And if we hear any, we're going to wait. And when it's safe to cross, then we got to be careful. So we're going to do it one more time. Okay, so this time I'm putting my camera just like you're looking through my eyes. So we're going to look to my right. I hear a car. There he goes. We're going to look to my left. I don't hear any cars. So I'm going to move up here like I'm ready to cross. I have my cane right in front of me here. I don't hear anybody. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, and off we go. We're going to cross our street. And it's very important that when we cross, we go right across and get ready to keep going so that all the cars can drive on through. So that was our first intersection. It was pretty quiet there, wasn't it? There was just a couple of cars, right? So this time, we're gonna go to a busier intersection and talk a little bit about some of the other ways that we can be safe when we walk downtown. And sometimes downtown can be a little bit scary. It can be a little bit loud. but we still need to make sure that we're being as safe as we can when we cross. So we're gonna go downtown and learn about intersections that are busy and that have some different things that our intersection didn't have. So let's go. Okay, welcome to downtown. It's a little bit busier down here. There's more cars, there's more going on, and we're gonna talk a little bit about how we cross streets in a place that might be a little bit different. So the intersection that we're going to come to next is busy, and there's lights, stoplights, and walk lights. And we're gonna talk a little bit about how to be safe when we cross an intersection that's a little bit busy. It can be a little bit scary at first, but after some practice, it's something that you'll be able to get a handle on, and you'll feel really safe. So that's what we're gonna talk about next. Okay, we've made it to our intersection, and this looks a little bit different than the intersection we were at before, doesn't it? There's a lot more cars, there's a lot more going on here, and it's busy. So what changes when things are busy? Well, first of all, there's more cars, there's more going on here. So we're gonna look at our lights that are across the street from us right here, and we're gonna talk about this thing right here. Do you hear that beeping sound? I'm gonna get the camera really close. So there's an arrow on this button, and if I push it and I hold it, it's gonna tell me the name of this intersection.
Wait to cross 2nd Street Southwest at Broadway.
So we're gonna talk about that a little bit. 2nd Street Southwest is right here. This street over here, and this street down here is called Broadway. And I can cross this street, so that's what we're gonna do. Because that voice is telling me that the walk sign is on. What in the world is a walk sign? Let's look at it. See if I can find it. Do you see a little man up here? He's a man when it's time to walk, and it turns into a red hand when it's time to hurry up, and the red hand will flash on and off. Or maybe the man flashes, I'm not sure which one. You'll have to tell me. And then when it's not time to walk anymore, it goes back to being a red hand again, so that you know, don't walk right now, it's not safe. So this is a lot different. It's busy, there's a lot of sound, and sometimes it can be a little bit scary crossing an intersection like this. So for you guys, you should always cross a street like this with your mom or your dad, or somebody who can help you get across safely. When I was little, these kinds of intersections really scared me because there was a lot of cars and it's very busy, and sometimes people don't look where they're driving. So it's best to cross a street like this with mom or dad. Make sure you always look both ways and hold hands, but you can do it. And with a little bit of practice, you can cross the street on your own. So we're gonna try crossing back this way. And I'm gonna use this sign one more time. Here it is. And there it is, it's time to cross. We're gonna cross 2nd Street again, backwards this time. And we're still walking along Broadway, which is right here. And that's the street that we were walking along before. We just crossed over 2nd Street. There it is. And this is Broadway that we're walking on now. So in our first intersection that we crossed, it was pretty quiet, right? There wasn't a lot going on in the beginning. And now that we're downtown, it's a lot busier. And part of things being so busy is traffic. That's all of our cars that we're seeing going by me right now. And for our last stop today, I'm gonna take you up really high into the Skyway, and we're gonna talk a little bit about patterns and traffic and how to be safe when we cross streets. So let's go. All right, we've made it up to the Skyway. We're gonna talk a little bit about traffic, and the reason that I came to the Skyway is it's a really good spot to look at all our cars and we can stand right in the middle of the road, except we're not on the road. I'm gonna show you exactly what I mean. So take a look at this. We are right above the road right now. This is Broadway that we just crossed. At our other intersection, we were looking at Broadway. This is Broadway again, but this time we're above it. And so we can see all of the traffic, all the cars that are driving on Broadway. Now, one of the things with traffic that's pretty wild is that it's always in patterns when you have lights, like at our last intersection. And so we look for big lines of cars that'll come and go, and that helps us know when to cross. We don't see a lot of cars right now, do we? That means there must be a red light somewhere, because what does a red light mean? It means stop. So all the cars have to stop when we have a red light, and when there's a green light, then they can go. And that's also a good time for us to cross the street, as long as we see our walk sign. So we see a few cars right now on Broadway, but it's not very busy. I'm going to turn around and we're going to look at the intersection that we just crossed at just a minute ago. And we're back. So just ahead of us, right here, is the intersection that we were just at. Broadway, which is the street we're right in front of right now, and 2nd Street. That's the street that you can see just up here. I'll zoom in a little bit. There it is. So we can watch our cars and watch for a pattern, because right now, look at some of those cars are stopped. What color is the light? It's a red light, isn't it? And when the light turns green again, we'll see these cars drive and go on their way. Might even see some people crossing the street too. There's a car turning. That wouldn't be a very good time to cross the street, right? We don't want to get hurt. So we gotta be safe. Here comes these guys. Must be a green light that way. So we can sit and watch the traffic for a minute. Okay, so we are back on Broadway one more time. We're gonna go to one more intersection that's just like the one we crossed the second time. And I figured that would be a good place to stop for today, but we're gonna talk one more time about what we do when we get to an intersection, how to be safe when we cross the street. Broadway is one of the big streets in Rochester. There's almost always a lot of cars here. It's very busy, so it's really important that we be safe every time we cross big streets and little streets. It's important to use our eyes and our ears to listen to all the traffic, all the cars, and we're just about at our intersection, so I'm gonna flip our camera around one more time. Okay, we made it. Here's our intersection. It's easier to see the lights for me now because it's getting dark. So I'm gonna hit our button right here, and it's gonna tell me when the walk sign is on, which you guys might see just across the street from me here. Let's see, there it is. So right now, it says don't walk, because it's not time to cross the street yet. So what we're gonna do is wait for our sign to tell us that it's time to cross Center Street. There it is. That means it's time for us to go. You can see our walk sign, that means we're good to go. And you know what? I'm gonna cross again, except I'm gonna cross the other way this time. So we're gonna move up right here. Here it is. I'm gonna push one more arrow. Wait. This time, instead of crossing Center Street, which is this street right here, we're gonna cross over Broadway. So we hit our button. It says wait. That means it's not time yet. And you might be able to see our walk sign here. And remember, it's lots of traffic, so it's really important that when you're crossing streets, stop, and we always look both ways. Even when the walk sign is on, it's still important to know where we are and that there's no cars coming. Now it's our turn. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, and let's do it. We always stay in our crosswalk. Some of our intersections didn't have any crosswalks, but this one does. So if there's crosswalks, we always stay inside and cross our street. All right, we made it. Well, if you guys have any questions about crossing streets, let me know. I hope you learned something, and I hope you had fun. Thank you for watching, everybody. Bye.